It's as bad as we've ever seen with regard to fires, certainly here in the city of Los Angeles, but certainly in Southern California as well. We have big fires every year. Having 3 big fires at once in a situation where we can't even use aircraft to dump water on the fires is unprecedented.
Welcome back to AccuWeather. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Damian Lotus.
And I'm Bri Guy. Lots of trouble there in Southern California, Damian, as these fires, they are hard to get under control. And a lot of them are just escaping a lot of these firefighters' reach.
And unfortunately, since we've been on the air since 2 p.m. Eastern time, in the past 2+ hours, these fires have tripled in size.
Which is wild to think about, and these areas quite populated. In fact, we have a lot of concerns, even with power outages. Now, I know some of these were planned power outages to kind of get ahead of this, but LA County experiencing over 100,000 customers without power.
That's right. So this is going to be an ongoing event here as we head throughout this afternoon, this evening, and into tonight. And here's the latest on our top story this afternoon. As these wildfires are burning out of control across Southern California, firefighters are working to battle those blazes that are fueled by these life-threatening winds.
Yeah, 4 wildfires continue to burn at this hour and have destroyed thousands of homes. The biggest of those fires, the Palisades fire, has now grown to more than 11,000 acres. Los Angeles has declared an emergency. We're also now learning 2 people have died in the Eaton fire burning in the Angeles National Forest. In all, more than 20,000 acres has been burned, and the fires are 0% contained. Over 50,000 people have been ordered to evacuate.
All right, so joining me now for the latest is AccuWeather Chief Meteorologist John Porter. So John, earlier we were talking about just the devastating impacts that this area, this region is going to be experiencing here. And now we're able to actually put some dollars and numbers to this event.
Damian, we are. Good afternoon. AccuWeather experts are analyzing the total damage and economic loss from these fast-moving, wind-driven infernos that are occurring across the Los Angeles area. And we're just 8 days into 2025, and unfortunately we already have our first billion-dollar disaster, natural disaster, and it's a big one. AccuWeather estimates exclusively this afternoon, before any other source, $52 to $57 billion in total damage and economic loss, a staggering toll from these wildfires. And this is based upon the preliminary information. It's subject to further revision upward as more damage information. Remember, very limited information is available, and these fires are still burning out of control. If we take a look at how this event, when we put this into context, this type of significant damage and economic loss, we see that as compared to the entire season, a very active wildfire season in 2020 across the western United States, that had a total damage and economic loss of 130 to 150 billion. This one event, 52 to 57 billion dollars for our preliminary estimate. And it's important to point out, this is not only just insured damages, this is uninsured damages, job losses, business interruptions, medical costs, the costs of evacuations, and the long tail of physical and mental health impacts that are going to happen for people that have had the stress of responding to this significant natural disaster, plus are dealing with the poor air quality that can result in long-lasting health impacts that can sometimes take years to show up. You put this into context with the Maui fires, that was $13 to $16 billion of total damage and economic loss, but the number is far under the Hurricane Helene impacts of $225 to $250 billion. Here at AccuWeather, we always put weather and climate into context, and this can help you understand the magnitude of this loss and just how significant a negative impact to the economy this is going to be.
All right, so John, so as you see right there, we have $52 to $57 billion of economic loss so far. Now, the winds are going to be the primary culprit of what is causing these fires to expand. And I'll just say, over the past 2 hours since we have been on the air, these fires, as far as acreage is burned, has tripled. So we're going to see those numbers just substantially increase here as we head into this evening and at least into tonight.
Well, that's the problem, Damian. And the issue with these fires is that embers are being blown around by these hurricane-force wind gusts, And when you have lots of homes that are very close to each other, that's how the fire can spread very quickly. And that's why we're going to be concerned that these wildfires can become the most significant damaging wildfire in modern California history if this spread continues. Remember the Camp Fire from several years ago that devastated the town of Paradise, California? That burned 18,000 structures, many of them tragically homes. Unfortunately, these fires may in fact surpass that number if they continue to grow at the rate that they've been growing with these damaging winds.
Well, in addition to that, John, in addition to the wind, the drought also plays a factor in this as well. And we've been talking about just how unprecedentedly dry Southern California has been, dating back to last spring.
You're absolutely right. You have to go all the way back to last April, in fact, April 14th, in order to get more than a quarter inch of rain in LA. And so what we've had is an extended period of very dry conditions that came after two winter seasons, I should say, that had plentiful rain and snow, everything greened up and then dried out in this extended period. And we've got this very unique setup that's promoting lots of wind here and very damaging winds even into locations that don't typically see as high winds. And look at this, there's an area of high pressure across Nevada that often results in these types of offshore wind events on its own. But then we've got this area of low pressure, a strong one that's developing. This is the one that's going to go on to produce the big snow and ice storm across the southern United States. But it's got a lot of wind energy with it all the way back here in California. So the associated wind flow in the atmosphere is a compounding effect that's amplifying these winds. And then, Damien, as you add to it that long period of drought, of dry conditions that we've had, with all of the jet stream directing many of those storms to Northern California, but not Southern California, that's been the big problem.
All right, John, and some of the local officials there has been talking about this has been an unprecedented, once-in-a-generation type of fire event. AccuWeather Chief Meteorologist John Porter, thank you so much for joining us. We'll check in with you coming up.
Good to be with you.
All right, let's go and take you live right now to Santa Monica, California. And you can see right now we have plumes from at least two fires here in this shot, because we're seeing one fire you're looking directly at there in the center of your screen. But as you look off to the north, to the top of your screen, you can see another plume from a separate fire. So we're going to be tracking dangerous fire conditions here as we head throughout the next couple of days. So not only are we tracking the unprecedented dryness, the unprecedented wind, but we're also going to be watching out for dangerous air quality as we head into this afternoon, this weekend as well. So this is going to be an ongoing event. As of right now, our air quality number is 135, which puts it in the unhealthy range right here. But once again, in the past 2 hours, these fires have tripled in size. So you're going to put more particulates in the air. So eventually we're going to get into the dangerous category here as we head throughout the next couple of days and as we head into the weekend. So not only are we dealing with dangerous winds, dangerous fire danger, but also going to be dangerous air quality as well. So here's the latest on the overall numbers from these storms. Both the Palisades and the Eaton fire right now are over 10,000 acres currently burned. And once again, 0% containment here on these fires. And the primary reason why is because, unfortunately, with how strong the winds are, gusting up to our AccuWeather local storm max of 100 miles an hour, the winds are too strong. They're making the conditions too dangerous for first responders to use air support to battle these blazes. Normally, we would have helicopters, fixed-wing aircraft in the air to drop water or fire suppressants on these blazes, but unfortunately that is not able to happen because of how dangerously strong these winds are going to be. So Bree, this is going to be an ongoing and evolving and unfortunately increasingly dangerous situation here as we head into this evening tonight and as we head into the weekend.
Yeah, Damien, we're continuing to monitor that situation in the southwest as well as our next big winter storm. And we are anticipating some pretty big impacts, especially when it comes to stopping travel and stopping commuting, because this snow, this winter weather at least, is building up in areas that don't typically see this amount of snow often. Now, we do have alerts going out as you're traveling maybe out of Texas. Right now, the sky looking great. No problems, right? Looks like, but don't let that fool you. Here it comes Thursday and a Thursday night. This extends from Texas to the Mid-South. We're talking snow and or sleet falling in Dallas, but also just a mix extending right through that corridor of the Red River Valley of the South, extending right past that Oklahoma border. And unfortunately, a lot of problems probably in some big major metro areas, including the Dallas Metroplex, also including Little Rock, Memphis, Nashville, all going to be seeing big impacts here eventually as this storm continues to track east. Dallas, we are anticipating about 3 to 6 inches for you. That snowfall is expected 10 a.m. Central Time on Thursday. That goes all the way through early Friday. Your AccuWeather Wintercast showing that this is our highest probability. Heads up, Oklahoma City, we're calling for 1 to 3 for you.